Hello, fellow YouTubers. This is Alex, aka Atomic Muffin here. Sorry for the hiatus for a couple months. I had some stuff to do outside of the channel, and things got out of hand, and I just kind of forgot for a little while. But I'm back. So, what have we got here? Well, this is Infinity Station 2.0. The last save I had to delete because of a various myriad of stuttering things, crap that had to do with MechJeb and all that. But now I'm back, and although it seems there is still stuttering, I don't know if you can see it here. There was some stuttering otherwise, but now it's kind of fixed, so I can play without my OCD going all nuts. Now, what have we got here? Well, the last Infinity Station, as you may remember, had a ring, a habitation ring, and had two sets of docking port arm truss things. And I kind of went the same way with this, except now I only have one truss with the docking ports all over the place. And that's because here I originally wanted to do two of these, and it only had this 6-way docking thing here. But I realized that my space shuttle, the KSOS space shuttle, could not actually dock with these. So I decided to revamp it and go with my previous design with the Infernal Robotics hinges, blah blah blah, and it all worked out. Some of the new additions, I added some container bay holders so that I could put container bays from Kerbal attachment system. I added a large docking port on the bottom for large payloads and fuel tank mechanisms so that I could store some fuel on the station in case I wanted to refuel, or in the future add extraplanetary launch pads to, build stuff out of here and all that fun stuff. As you can see, I've had some success with adding MKS parts. I've got a power distribution unit, a fabrication module, I've got a colony control center, and a Kerbatat here, and then of course the biolab and the aeroponics module. Now I'm going to be adding a couple more modules, and that will be what this episode is about. We're going to be adding some more stuff here, and well, maybe. We'll decide when we get there. Now, let's jump over to the VAB, and let's start building. Alright, so we're here in the VAB with my previous mission, the mission that sent up that gigantic fuel tank. This is called Station Construction Mission 4, SCM4. Duh. Well, as you can see, I built this before, and it's huge. This is what I call my Thor booster, or sorry, Zeus booster. Oops. This is my Zeus booster, and this thing is, or was, my main workhorse. In previous saves in 0.21, 0.22, and up until about 0.24, I used this almost exclusively to launch payloads into space. This thing got 100-ton payloads, 110-ton payloads into space. It was awesome. The official figures that I put together were indicated that this thing could take up a full 100-ton payload on top here, up to 100 by 100 kilometers, basically 100% of the time. And if you drop that to around 70 kilometers, I tested it and got around 116, 118 tons into orbit in a stable 70-kilometer orbit, and that was pretty awesome. So I basically used this design almost exclusively up until the point where I started doing career modes, and I started doing the funds career mode, and kind of teetered off there. Didn't really do a lot with this just because this thing cost a lot and I didn't really want to waste money on it, so I kind of just let it go. Now though, I'm using it again. So let's get to building that payload for the space station. So I need a couple more modules. Let's go in here and find them. Alright, so primarily I'm going to need an agricultural module and a habitation ring. Let's see. We've got that, we've got that, we've got these 4, plus we've got this. Then we got this. I don't know if we need those, so we don't need those yet. Yeah, let's go with that. So basically, throughout my construction processes, I usually start out by making the fairing, since I do have Ferrum Aerospace. Let's go ahead and get this. I'm going to go with this one. I usually start out with that. You can, of course, make these bigger to fit your spacecraft. I usually set them around 2.75 just to match the rest of the entire ship. Then, one of the things that is interesting about procedural fairings is that you actually have to have decouplers installed in addition to the actual fairing ring, because the guy decided to not put decouplers, kind of like decouplers that were like KW rocketry, and I don't know why, but I kind of liked KW rocketry, but for me it kind of works funky. I'll show you later, but now I'm just going to look for this module caps. Let's try and multiply those. I'm going to need 4, and then I'm going to need a couple docking rings. Let's see. No. Alright, this is going to take a while. Excuse me. Alright, so we're back. After some fiddling around, I finally managed to get the fairing so that it wouldn't actually clip into the ring here by adding a nose cone onto the little docking port up here. You can add nose cones to docking ports and then click docking port, undock, it'll actually jettison the nose cone. You know, the more you know. So, what should I do here? Well, I'm of course going to symmetry this and make it so that I have 2. Gonna look over it. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Now, I was testing it a little bit, and I found out that in the quote-unquote simulation launch, I found that I needed some antennas here. So let's go here, add this. Yeah, I'm going to add that, and then I'm going to add some RTGs just to make sure that it won't run out of power. I ran into that a couple times before, and let's just say it wasn't exactly pretty. Now, one of the things I do not like about this design is that every time you try to put something in the center stage, it gets the symmetry of these outer stages, which is 2. I run them in 3 stages of 2 boosters in an asparagus staging setup, running from this booster to this booster to that booster, and then inside to the center booster. That's how I can get a lot of delta V out of this baby, and adding the solid rocket boosters gives it a little bit of a boost on the launch pad, so that I can lift heavier loads and give it a little bit less load. Yeah, I keep using load. Lots of load. Load. Lots, a little bit less load on the main 7 mainsails. So, something else you might have seen was that I said SCM6. Now, do I not know how to count? I do know how to count. Thank you very much. 1 plus 2 equals 5. Exactly. Well, SCM5 is actually going to be an STS mission. I'm going to send up a KSOS shuttle here. Now, I don't need any use for that habitation ring, since I'm going to be sending up a habitation ring anyway. And I'm going to put a very special little thing that comes with the KSOS pack, and that is the station service tug. This thing was instrumental in putting those modules you saw on the Infinity Station into position. I sent those 4 modules in one launch, and I spent about an hour putting those babies together in the configuration that you saw, and it was all because of this guy. Now, one of the problems that I saw was that it didn't have an antenna, so I won't be able to actually use this except for when I had crew up there. Now, this being a station that was unmanned, that is going to be unmanned until I can send people up there with ample enough supplies, you know, I've got to use this thing remotely. So we're going to put a couple antennas on there, and then we're going to send this baby up. Okie dokie, so we're back, and I've just gotten into orbit, and I've noticed that something weird is going on, and I can't actually see my ship. It's weird. Oh well, who cares? Well, I've just gotten a maneuver node to make a rendezvous with Infinity Space Station in about 40 minutes, and the maneuver node is, of course, going to be very short indeed, about 10 meters per second, and in about 6 minutes. So, I'll be back after we complete the burn. Alright, we have just completed the burn, and it was done a little weird. So my rendezvous is actually way off. So I'm just going to go ahead and transfer anything I can over to... Nope, there's nothing to transfer. Okay, so I'm just going to do this. Alright, that jettisons the main fuel tank. I'm going to use RCS to just maneuver a little bit away. Then I'm going to turn off the main engines. Shut down, shut down, shut down. And then I'm going to turn on the orbital maneuvering engines, the OmniMax 40Ts. These are higher impulse and, of course, lower total thrust. But, hey, higher impulse, who cares? We're only maneuvering around here, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to look at this, and let's see if we can do this with RCS. So... Oh no, go a little more. Yeah, that's good, 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 good. You know what? I'm just gonna turn. Ooh, no, that's bad. I just turned on the engines and bad things happened. Oh, right. I was thrusting this. I was getting thrust out of this RCS port, so I've got to turn around to turn on the engines. Use a little time warping to get my ship still, and there we go. Getting that maneuver, oh crap, words mincing, yay. Alright, we're gonna use RCS from now on. Let's get this down as much as we can. Ooh, no, that's more. Let's go this way, that way, no. Okay, never mind. That is the least we're gonna get. Let's go ahead and turn, or open the cargo bay. See what this baby's got. Yeah, we've got the antenna, or the antennified thing. Yeah, wow, I just can't think of anything today. The service tug, right. So we're going to be using the service tug remotely. Let's just go ahead and test. Maybe we won't even have to dock this baby to the actual space station. Let's see. Oh yeah, I still have these containers from the original STS-1 mission. I'm going to name this STS-2. Of course, I can't actually name it because, well, yeah, can't see myself. Yay! So, let's turn this baby on. Activate. That should give it... Yep, there we go. Wow. Oh, whoa. Okay, never mind. Double click. Yeah, weird. Okay. Wait a minute. Where yeah. Alright. Wait. Our electricity is stable. Let's see. Electricity stable at 546. Got it. Okay. I don't want to quick save because I think that would be against our rules. So, let's switch. I believe I'm going to be called STS. Name STS-2. Wow, can't change it. Okay. Let's go to this. Unity station. Alright, before I actually do anything rash and like decoupling the little thing there, I'm gonna be doing this. Switch to. Let's see. I'm gonna just go ahead and turn on one of the directional dishes on this Kraken too. Oh yes, I forgot to introduce you guys to the new Kraken lineup of satellites. As you would have seen, these are my new Kraken satellite, mega satellites, you could say, part of the main geostationary communications network that I set up. And these babies are pretty big, as you've already seen. Yeah, they contain, let's see, 6 of these omnidirectional Commutron 32s per arm, in addition to 4 directional dishes on each side of this main truss here. So that comes to a total of, let's see, 4 times 4, that's 16, plus 24, you've got about 40, yeah, 40-ish communications dishes here, and omnidirectional antennas, blah blah blah. And then of course you've got the main Reflectron GX128 mega dish. This baby can hit all the way out to 400 gigameters. I thought it was 450, but this thing is designed to go out to what is it called, ELU and stuff. We're going to be using that later in the series. And yeah, I've got Infernal Robotics hinges here and there. But back to the main topic. We've got to activate this, turn on a target. That's... I think that's it. No. Interesting. Okay. Well, we'll figure it out later. Deactivate, activate, active vessel. Let's just do no target there. Let's go. Ooh, wait a minute. Shit. Oh, well then. That's gonna be a problem. Alright, we're back. I finally found it after warping around and getting Infinity Station to come really close. We need to do a burn maneuver to get this thing together here. Yeah, right there. Alright, burn maneuver. Alright, so I've done some maneuvers, and as you can see, it's a beautiful eclipse. I've got the station within 80 meters, and I am coming in around 3.2 meters per second. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to slow myself down. I'm going to turn on the engines a little bit. Get that number down. I'm going to use the RCS the rest of the way. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and transfer a couple people, and I'm going to run some tests. So I'll get back to you when I've got this baby undocked. Alright, so off camera, I kind of tested a little, and yeah, it doesn't work. I'm gonna have to build a completely new custom space tug that will be not KSOS. Yeah, KSOS seems to be having a little bit of a problem. I don't know what it is. I don't really care anymore. I'm just gonna get the hell out of here with this, so yeah. So, after that whole disaster, with the space tug and everything, I'm just going to put off the space tug and the space station for a little while, and go ahead and focus on our interplanetary aspirations. So, in my spare time, I was also developing another mission, so to speak, for communications networks that I'm going to have to develop to spread out. Now, this is a smaller version of the Kraken communications satellite. Of course, actually, it's got no relation to it. This thing is what I call the cuttlefish, and as you can tell, I've kind of gotten a little carried away with the whole sea creature naming scheme. I decided that I would use those sea creatures with tentacles because, well, these satellites are meant to reach across the entire solar system, blah blah blah, and reach and blah blah blah, yeah, with their signals and all that. So I decided to go on the Kraken, the octopus, the cuttlefish. The octopus I still have to develop, and that's a top secret project until then. So let's focus on the cuttlefish. Well, these are small little satellites that I'm going to put in moon orbit to test. This baby's got a bunch of these comms DTS M1 dishes, directional dishes. Then I've got some Communicatron 32 dishes here. I've also got these fuel tanks here. I found that you can actually do fuel through the SAS, so that's good. This should give it enough delta V to maneuver around the orbits in the moon, and in moon orbit, just maneuver around, maybe change orbits here and there whenever I want. Then, of course, during testing, I also tried to find out if the energy demands could be met by these, and I found out they could. So I decided to add these mega satellite solar panels, these XL solar panels, and those provided ample enough electricity for the demands of all these antennas. So, with that, I am going to go ahead and launch. So, see you on the launch pad. Alright, we're back with the cuttlefish distribution mission to the moon, and I'm just going to go through a little pre-flight check. This really helps a lot. Saved my butt a few times. Let's see, we've got all the staging correct. I don't have to worry about these because these are the stagings for the probes up here, so don't have to worry about those to the moon. Boosters seem attached pretty well. I've got struts there. This may wobble a little bit during launch, but I shouldn't have to worry about that. I've got my HUD up. FAR is really tough, but once you've gotten the hang of it, it's pretty awesome. Nose cone's good, everything good. Power's something you gotta worry about a lot. So electric, good. Alright, we are fully fueled, fully ready to go. Launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have ignition and liftoff of the Cuttlefish exploration mission to the moon. Alright, I see that typical wobble there. Getting really low frame rates. Must be the part count. I'll have to check that later. Tipping over, of course, immediately because in FAR, realistic aerodynamics dictates that you're going to need to tip over pretty quickly to take advantage of an efficient launch curve, unlike in regular KSP where you can just tip over at 10,000 meters. Going around 145 meters per second, now way higher, 0.5 Mach, 2,200 meters, going a pretty good click, going a little fast, so I'm going to throttle down a little bit. Wow, getting really low frame rates, oh well. Yeah, KSP, you gotta get used to it, right? Anyway, maybe it's mods. I'm running like 20, 30 mods, who knows. Going pretty good click, 315 meters per second at 5,900 meters. Going 1 Mach. Density of the air, I don't know what that means. Then who cares? Getting serious shock. There we go. And then we jettison the boosters. Throttle up. We are going at a pretty good click. 1.3 Mach, 400 meters per second, at around 11,400 meters. Main cell is at full power, and we are doing pretty good, 450 meters per second. I'm going to switch over to the map view. Gotta watch this right here, make sure you don't do anything rash or weird with FAR, otherwise you're going to crash and burn spectacularly. Apoapsis is currently at 25,000 meters, and climbing, just like our speed. This is getting a little off here, so I'll have to change that in a little while. Alright, we're nearing the end of the dense part of the atmosphere. I'm going to go ahead and tip over a little more. Yeah, you just have to follow a pretty efficient launch curve just to make sure that your launch doesn't waste too much fuel. I mean, you could try and do the 10,000 meter tip over like in stock, but most likely 95% it'll end in your ship's destruction unless you're going really slow, and at that point you're just wasting fuel. As I said, we're nearing, there we go, 30,000. We're nearing the edge of the dense space, so I am going to go ahead and try to open up this Communitron 32. Hopefully it won't break. There we go. There we go. Orbit. Good. I'm going to check to make sure. We've got a good stable launch curve right there. We're at 4.3 Mach. I'm going to go ahead and jettison these. Alright, we've got good jettison of the fairings. I'm going to open the solar panels just to give us a little bit of power. Yeah, you can see there's a little bit of a wobble there. Alright, we should be getting a good... There we go. I'm going to stop at around 100. I'm going to stop my engine there. I'm going to stop at around 150. I know it's better to start off at a lower altitude, but oh well, who cares. I've got plenty of Delta V in this baby. Ooh, maybe not. That seems a little off. Interesting. Okay. Well, doesn't really matter. I've got lots of Delta V. Then in that case, if that's going to run out, I'm just going to jettison it, since I don't want it to have to deal with a lot of extra weight. There we go. I've got connections to the space station and to Kraken 2. This is Kraken 1. Yep. We are in space. Switching over to Kraken 2 exclusively. Well, not exclusively. We're still connected to the station, if you can see that. Alright. I'm going to utilize my super fast maneuverability. Engine already activated. Turning on engine. I'm going to go this way. And with that, I will see you when we get to the moon. Alright, so I lied. Yeah, we're in orbit around Kerbal. Getting pretty quick. We're at 2,170 meters per second around Kerbal at around 150,000 meters. We're going to set up a little maneuver node here. Yeah, around there. I'm going to move this around here. And I'm going to set up this maneuver node to get to the moon. Yeah. Seems as though it's a little off. There we go. We've got a good encounter. Alright. Gotta be careful with these maneuver nodes. You gotta make sure that you're nice and close, but not too close. You gotta take into account the fact that the surface is actually around 4,900 meters, depending on where you are, to 50-something hundred meters. I forgot. You gotta be careful about that. So, good place to come in is around 40,000 meters, but since these are communication satellites, I'm going to be coming in at a pretty good clip. So I need to also make sure that I'm in a pretty high and stable orbit. So I'm going to go ahead and make it so that I'm going to... Ooh, what happened there? I'm going to make sure that I'm coming in around... That's good. 160. Good. I'm going to try and come in at around 150,000 meters. Now, you can make extremely small adjustments by using your scroll wheel. Not very many people might know that, but it's a pretty effective way of very slowly but surely changing your maneuver node to get exactly what you want there. See, if you scroll too long, you can actually jump. It'll actually accumulate amount, or I don't know about accumulate, but just jump really far. You know what, screw this. I'm gonna come in at around 140,000 meters, and yeah, let's go ahead and do that maneuver node. Alright, so we're at the maneuver node. I'm going to go ahead and engage the engine. Starting the burn. Yeah, this is going to take a while. Wow. Frame. This. I wonder how many parts this thing has. Gotta check. Let's see. Wow. Yeah, 162 parts. Shouldn't be doing this much damage. Oh well. So, yeah, when you're burning, you just gotta make sure that you've got some handle on your position marker and your burn node marker, and you just gotta make sure that you don't screw up the burn or go too early, go too late. These are your friend. Make sure you gotta do. Make sure you look at that, and of course, make sure that your end result is visible and you like it, because if you don't, well, it's pretty much permanent. So we're going to engage a little bit of physical time warp. This can be done by doing Alt time warp button, whatever you have as your time warp button, and it'll go up to 4 times acceleration. And yeah. So yeah, there is the burn node complete. Now, during my time warping madness, I actually overshot it. So now I've got the delightful problem of having to fix my burn maneuver on the fly. So let's go over to this retrograde marker and see what we can do. There we go. Nice, nice. Alright, we're around 100,000 meters there. I'm going to go ahead and move around just a tiny bit more. And let's do a little time warping freezing. There we go. Alright, so just a little bit more. Oh, 145 is pretty good. Alright. So with that, we have the Cuttlefish Explorer, or the Cuttlefish Distribution Moon Edition, whatever you want to call it. This Cuttlefish distributor is on its way to the moon, and we are fine and dandy. So, thank you for watching, and see you in the verse.